our native top using our shirt basic block or foundation or casual pattern. As you can see, I have my sloper already. I remain Oluwafumilaya Olaniwaju, the creative director of Waju Culture. Stay with us. Stay with me. To adapt for this style, this top, men clothing, this men top, you need your basic block or your shirt foundation. You need this. So what I will do now is I'm going to trace out my center back on my paper. I'm going to trace out for you to see what it looks like, and I'm going to do the same thing. But while I'm tracing out this, the bottom wrap and these measurements in between the center front and the bottom wrap will not be there. So let me quickly trace out for you to see what you need to do. From what you can see, I have my center back and center front traced out already. The center front is traced out without the bottom wrap and the bottom stand. And of course you can see that there's a shape here which we are going to extend down. And this is my yoke. This is the yoke. And let's start. I'm going to start with the center back. All I need to do is I'll be tracing this out on a separate paper. And that is, I'll be separating this lower part from the yoke, because the back for the style it has yoke at the back like a shirt. I'm tracing out already in this direction. This will be out, and the essence of that is to reduce the gap around the armhole. So I already have my yoke cut out. It's going to be on fold. And we're cutting two of this out. So I'm going to detach this lower part from the yoke. So stay with me. So before I do that, I need to extend, because of course the length of the center back will not be in this one because it's a native. The native is longer. So you take it down. Depends on the length you want. You take it down the more in this direction, so it will be lengthy. So the next thing you do is on the side, peradventure you want your slits to open from here to the slits always open by 7 inches. So all you need to do is to measure the depth, how you want the slits to be opened, and you measure 1 inch on outside in this direction. You measure 1 inch like this, and you take it down as well. So at the end of the day, you'll be cut. This is out because we extended it. So I'm going to cut out quickly for us to see. It's going to be in this front. This is the center back. This is the center back. There's no seam allowance added yet. I've not added. This is after all this is done. This is how you separate the yoke from the main center back body. I hope you can see what I did. So this is going to be on fold. You're cutting just one. So this is going to be on fold. You're cutting just one. And already, I traced out the center back, the yoke. So this is it. So that is that. So let's quickly look at the center front. So for the center front, you're going to lengthen the top length. It depends on you. If you want it like 32, you make sure from the shoulder downwards you have 32 inches, and if you want it 30, however you want the length, you ensure is the same, just like we did on the center back. This will be half, we've extended that. So the next thing we're going to do, we did 7 inches, we're going to do same on the center front. So you're going to do the same by adding your slits allowance in this direction by 1 inch. The essence of making pattern is to help us avoid some certain mistakes, and as well as to save us time, because you can use it to reproduce every other garment. So now we have this is the slit is done. This was I'm going to cut on fold now in order to shape the center front the way it looks in the picture. So stay with me. So from what you can see, I have my full center front. This is my full center front. So now we are going to style the outfit the way it is in the picture. So if you look at it, the navy side and the hash side are two different things, and from what we can see, from the armpit of so the gray comes from the armpit of the right hand side, that is the right to the left, to about 2 inches or 3 inches, depends how you want to determine that. So we are going to drop it by, let's use 2 inches. Then we roll it from the armhole here to this direction. It's just like quarter down from the armhole here to 2 inch or thereabout, how you want it. So the same thing is what you're going to do you're going to use it to determine where it is on the sleeve, the short sleeve. So we're going to look into that as well. So this will represent the gray, and this will represent the navy blue. Yes, the navy blue. So when you're going to cut out on this line, this is the cut line. So let's quickly look at how to get our sleeve out of this. Don't forget, this is going to be full scale in order for you to determine the upper part from the lower part. This is the navy blue, this is the gray. This is 1/4, or you can use half, depending on you, to about 2 inches or thereabout, depends on how you want it to be. And we said the slits, the opening here is about 7 inches, and you can make it more, depends on how open you want it. And of course, our center back, this will be cut on fold on fabric, and this is the yoke. The yoke will be cutting out 2 on fold in this direction, 2 of this. So let's quickly look at the sleeve. At the sleeve. Welcome back. We want to determine the sleeve, and I can see if you can check the picture, you notice that the sleeve is a very funny sleeve. So before we start that, we are going to take the measurement of our around armhole, the center back and the center front. Let me show you what I mean. So for the center back, you're going to measure the around armhole in this direction, like this. You take it around the armhole. Whatever your measurement is, you will subtract this because if you remember, we cut it out, so you're going to subtract it from it. That's for the center back. So for the center front, you're going to do same by what? By measuring the armhole, around the armhole for your sleeve crown. So if you have those measurements, all you need to do is to get your paper set and locate the middle. When you locate the middle, you rule a line down in this direction. Now you rule a line down in this direction. From this upper part, let me make it A. So to locate the depth of our crown, you will add the center back and the center front together, and you divide it into 4 parts. So whatever your answer is, you measure from A downwards. Then you rule across. You rule across in this direction. So A to B is the depth of your crown. So the next thing you're going to do, you can make here center front, depends on you, and here center back, depends on you, like I said. So the first thing first is to measure the center. Now, sorry, before we measure the center, the other one, let's say A to C. Your A to C, that's A to C is the depth of your sleeve. Probably, let's say what you want to use is 9 inches. So you measure it downwards like this. This is your C. You rule it across. You rule it across in this direction. So now the next thing to do is to determine the center front depth. That's the measurement for the armhole of center front. You measure it like this in this direction. Wherever it stops, you mark it in that direction. Then you rule a straight line to connect it. You do the same thing for the center back. You do the same thing with the center back in this direction. You rule a straight line. Sorry, you rule a straight line. So I'm going to make here D and E. So the next thing we're going to do is to divide A to D. You divide it into 4 parts. A to E, you divide it into 4 parts. So when you have it divided into 4 parts, let's label it E, F. So we say F, G, H, then I, J, and K. So the next thing we're going to do is to measure what we are going to use to curve it. So we have it like that. So we're going to start with the center front. All you need to do is the measurement between the measurement of I. From high here, you will increase it. You measure 1.75 centimeter upward. 1.75 centimeter upward. 1.75 centimeter upward in that direction. So on K, you will measure inward 1.25 centimeter. You can convert it to so like I said, you're going to curve it by using your armhole curve. You connect A on that line. You connect A to high, high to J, then J, you connect J to that 1.5 centimeter in this direction. Then you connect from that 1.5, you connect it to D in this direction. So we have the center front shaped already. Your shaping might be different from mine. Do you understand? Because we are using this different measurement. But everything I've mentioned here is for B scale measurement. So the next thing is to work on E to A. How do I mean? On F, the distance between F and E and F, you locate the midway. You locate the midway and measure downwards 0.6 centimeter. That is not up to 1 inch. You measure it like that. Then on H, you measure 1.7. You measure it out like that. Then you connect you connect in this the way we did the first one. This is the center back. You connect in this direction. You take it down to G. You take it down to F. You take it down to F. You take it down to F. Then you connect in this direction. F to 0.6. Then to E in that direction. So, and again, it's not necessary E to A. It's not necessary you divide it into 4. You can divide it into 3. And when you divide into 3, what you'll be needing is H here and F. Just the way I connected it, that's the way you're going to connect it. So the next thing we're going to do now is to measure the around arm. Whatever you measured around arm, it shouldn't be too tight, it shouldn't be too low. So let's say my own around arm is somewhere here. I'll be using this as my around arm, so we can see what it looks like. Then you connect D to this, and yeah, so I'll make here E1 and D1. So this is how it's going to look. This is the depth of your crown. Like I said, depth of your crown you divide into 4. So 1/4 of it is what you measure. You divide A to D into 4. You divide A to E into 4 or into 3. So it depends on you. So the next thing I'm going to do is to cut it out in order for us to see how to style it the way it's looking in the. So this is the cutout of my short sleeve for that particular native wear. So the next thing we're going to do is to shape. If you notice, the center front has a little gray. So and on the shoulder, which is the center front of the main. So we use the 2 inches here. So at the end of the day, it means you're going to use whatever you use there. You measure in this direction, in that curved direction. You mark. That's what you're going to do. Then you rule the line. You rule the line downwards in this direction because it's kind of slopey to the center back yoke measurement. So you're going to use this. You're going to measure in this form. This is the center back. So it's more like or less like you connect this to the middle. Then this as well coming out like V, like this. So this portion will be gray, and this will be navy blue. So that's it about this class. So let me just put everything together for you to see the end result. Okay, still on the matter, if you look at what we have on the table, I've cut everything out. The center front is full, like I said earlier in the video, that this lower part is the navy blue, while this is the gray. And at this shoulder, if you notice that the shoulder of the top, it doesn't have blanket, it has zipper on the left hand side. So it means on the shoulder you're going to, instead of you to use 1/2 inch, you can use 3/4 or 1 inch. Then on this other side you can use 1/2 inch to stitch, but it means you're adding your zipper allowance to it. But if you are the type that knows how to use little seam allowance, you're very good to go. Now this is the sleeve. Now this is the sleeve, and this is the cutout, which has gray, and this other parts will be navy blue. You can see the way I had my seam allowance. I only had a seam allowance to the cutout. You are still going to add your seam allowance to the side, and the hem, and around the armhole. Same thing is applicable to the crown. And for this too, for the center front, you're still going to add your seam allowance around the armhole. The armholes, the side, the side, and this slits level too. Now for the center back, you're cutting on fold. your cutting unfold, and already where the yoke is being cut out, I've already had a seam allowance to it, so you know how to it. Then around the armhole, you're still going to have your own seam allowance. You had your seam allowance here in this direction. Now for the yoke, you can see the yoke. You know the yoke, and the yoke is having extra seam allowance because of the zipper. And don't forget, this will be cut on fold. You're cutting 2 pieces out. This is the gray portion of the yoke, which complements part of the sleeve. So this other part, the seam allowance is not so much. That's how it's going to come out. So thank you for staying tuned. This is what we have for you for the top, and I hope you like it. Leave your comments, share with friends, let them know what we do, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Thank you. Sorry, don't forget that one of the sleeve is just plain gray, which you're going to use this to cut out, just plain on the right hand side is just gray, while this is the one you're going to use to cut out the left hand side, which has gray and navy blue. Don't forget that. Thank you. Bye.